Hello and welcome to the internet. My name is Jake Dragon7 and welcome back to Let's Play Shovel Knight. So today we will be heading to the stranded ship, the Lair of Polar Knight, just like I mentioned last time. Alright, now one thing I do want to say at the start of this, I'm actually not going to be talking about this level explicitly first, but I do just want to say real quick, this should be appearing at the end of the end of my sort of the week of Let's Plays that I have currently planned. So yeah, I just hope you guys have been enjoying, assuming I actually did, end up doing this. I hope you guys have been enjoying which, I mean, I really don't see any reason why I wouldn't have at this point. I'm pretty dead set on getting this done. But yeah, I really hope you guys have been enjoying the return of, Skyward Sword and Mario Galaxy. So I think in the meantime, I'm just going to be uploading the rest of these videos on Thursdays. Obviously, this one I'm uploading on Saturday, just because, you know, this week's entire schedule is kind of weird and skewed compared to my normal schedule. But I'm fine with that, because like I said, I wanted to get my Let's Plays back and rolling in full momentum. So yeah, hopefully any of you guys who have been following my channel have seen all the videos this week, including what's hopefully my first non-Family Jack music cover that should be up as well. Yeah, so yeah, you know, it's been and assuming, because I am recording this ahead of time, assuming everything went according to plan, yeah, this is honestly, hopefully been a pretty good week. Okay though, so the stranded ship. As I mentioned last time, I would consider, oh god damn it, but I would consider this the hardest level in the game, probably outside of like maybe Tower of Fate levels. I mean, they're a bit trickier. Honestly, I do feel like this might just be the hardest level in the game. I do struggle with this one quite a bit. So as you can see, of course, it is the ice-themed level for this game. Doesn't really take much brain power to figure that out, considering the boss's name is Polar Knight. But yeah. You know, we have a very, like, icy-themed area right now. There's a bit of ice physics, but, you know, this being Shovel Knight, it's handled pretty well. It's not really, like, a huge deal in this game, honestly. I mean, obviously, it's there, but it's not, like, massively, like, noticeable in a lot of ways. I mean, I guess it is pretty noticeable, but again, it is ice physics. It's kind of hard not to notice it. But I feel like it isn't as dramatic as it is in some other games, so I don't really mind it too much here. And helps with the music here is also pretty good. I wouldn't exactly say it's one of my personal favorites. I think, as I mentioned last episode, the Tiger Knight's theme of Devious Machinations is pretty good. I like Plague Knight's theme a lot, and Propeller Knight's theme, and Spectre Knight's theme. Like, there's a lot of songs I really like, and this song has a lot of stiff competition, but I do like it quite a bit. It gives the foreboding atmosphere this level has, and that this boss gives, especially compared to a lot of the other knights. It does it really well. Because Polar Knight is definitely one of the more menacing knights. I mean, when you think about it, a lot of them are very goofy in a lot of ways. But Polar Knight really isn't. Polar Knight's a lot more dead set and serious. And as we'll see later, there actually is apparently a bit of a backstory between Polar Knight and Shovel Knight. None of it's really talked about, but it is kind of hinted at that there's like a backstory between Polar Knight and Shovel Knight. Which just kind of makes sense because Polar Knight does use a shovel as his weapon in case you haven't played through the game, you don't know that. But yeah, it is all very interesting, because this episode, not this episode, but yeah, this level just feels a lot more, like, menacing than a lot of the other levels. Although I do like it quite a bit. I mean, it's a very well done atmosphere. So yeah, that's, my sort of take on this level. Okay, so right here, to create ground for a start right top of the spikes, you have to, hit these, blocks of snow. Interesting little gimmick right you got going here. Alright, and right okay, we got some extra gold right here. So far, I've been having a lot of bombs to avoid this level. Oh god. I almost kicked the bucket right there. I was trying to think of some way I could have turned that into a pun related to this game. If we're not obvious enough, I couldn't think of anything. Hit the bucket with the shovel. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things to say right now. It's not working easily. Okay, well, I might as well use these invisibility frames. Okay, and I am very close to dying. Look, I just hit a checkpoint. So at this point, I really don't care about dying. Okay, so right here we have these fountains right now. These will allow you to move across the air right here. Yeah, it's basically areas where there's no ground. Be pretty careful. These can be honestly kind of difficult to deal with at some points. They can be a bit annoying at times. It is a pretty fun oh god. I knew it was gonna hit me right there. So I should have just hit the ball and made it disappear, but I didn't because reasons. And I'm just gonna need that and maybe a bit faster. Well, can I cheat this here? Get back up. No, okay, no, the shovel is too big. Okay. Try to get over here quickly, and what I could have done there was I could have propeller daggered and just respawned the fountain to appear back there. I was gonna just mention, for the longest time, I honestly had no idea what this was, because this sprite just looks really, really weird to me. Does anyone else feel like this sprite looks really, really just weird? I don't know why, this never struck me as a fountain for a while. It just struck me as like... Okay, for the longest time, I thought that little hole in the middle wasn't like the center between two different figures. I thought it was all one figure, and that was just its mouth. Don't ask how I thought of that, because I know. Well, I never even thought it looked like a mouth. I just always like, I didn't know what to think of it, because it was like such a weird-looking sprite. But yeah, my little story about this little design right here aside. Let's head on here. Head up a bit, maybe? Okay. So here, for this section of the level, we do have to use this to navigate around the icy perils of the stranded ship. It's pretty fun. It's a little strange, I suppose. And I'm just going to... I'm gonna try to take this guy out first. Jumping around too much of it. They're hard to hit. Alright though, so moving on. Oh geez, that was really close. Okay. So you're able to use the back of this guy. This guy's back is invulnerable. It won't take any damage from getting hit. So you are able to use that to navigate around here. And this area can be very annoying. I'm just warning you guys right now. Okay, I see that worked. Yeah, these guys can be pretty annoying to hit, and they can be a bit frustrating to deal with at times. Yeah, kind of just gotta take your time with them. And what I did there was I just dropped off the ladder and immediately used a throwing anchor and just got back on the ladder. Obviously, I believe this is where this is where the relic is. This is not exactly one of the more used relics, but I don't know, I want to collect them all, so gotta buy them all. So this is the War Horn. It'll clear space around you. It'll killing all the enemies, as you can see right here. Oh wait, there's startup. Why is there so much startup on this thing? Yeah, so it does have quite a bit of range, but one thing you may have noticed, uses 20 magic. That is a hell of a lot of magic. And the attack, which I didn't even remember that at first, but it has quite a bit of startup. So honestly, I would consider that to be probably... It's hard to say, but that might just be the most useless relic. Kind of look at some of the other ones and try to think, like... Yeah, I feel like that might just be the most useless relic, honestly. It's not that good of... I mean, obviously different people can have different opinions about different things, If you like the relic... Oh god, that was close. But no, I mean, if you like the relic, then great. But I personally don't find myself enjoying that one very much. Like I said, I just feel like it has too much startup, and it just uses way too much magic. It just doesn't seem like it's worth the cost, you know what I mean? Especially considering a lot of situations, like, there won't be situations where you have to kill that many enemies that fast. Especially, like, this late in the game. I wouldn't say there are too many situations where you have to kill that many enemies, like, in that space around you. It actually has a bit more rage than I thought it did, though, so... Oh, crap, sticks. Crikey, mate. I just turned Australian for a second with, Not like my accent was good, but yeah, I'm terrible at accents. Don't. I feel like it is possible to hit all 3 of these guys with one throwing anchor, but I have never done it to my knowledge. Well, if I have done it, that was not an example of me doing it. Let's just put it that way. I don't know why I keep saying that. Okay, though, so we're up here now. And there we go. I'm gonna drop straight down and right onto this guy. Pretty nifty right there. Okay. So we'll hit him, hit this block, jump back over here, go up the ladder, and I'm just saying everything you guys have probably already figured out. Oh boy, okay. Why can I not make a... That's why I can't make a... As soon as I make the jump, I get hit by something. Of course that's how it works. Now for simplicity's sake here. Okay, boy. Alright. Do it. Yeah, I cannot get enough of this, Propeller Dagger. So much fun. Alright, let's see if I can make it up there. I have to use, oh god, oh jeez, okay. And the Propeller Dagger comes in once again, being my favorite relic at all. I'm obviously just going to be spending most of my time gushing about how awesome it is. I mean, obviously it's not perfect by any means. If you get reckless with it, you will kill yourself multiple times. And I can say that from experience. But, yeah, okay, so this is, Polar Knight, anyway. Being totally just shifting topics here. Yeah, so as I was mentioning earlier, there is apparently some form of history between these two characters, which I do think is pretty interesting. Again, it does kind of lead into it, or just kind of like, you know what I was saying earlier about this level is more sinister tone compared to the rest of the game. Because it really is a much more sinister level when compared to, like, the rest of these, like, main levels here. I'd also consider this one of the trickier boss fights by far. Actually, no, come to think of it. Oh, okay. This guy is kind of like Baz in the fact that he'll kind of block your attacks from the top. And one thing, okay, there we go. Fine, taking me to find that. I highly recommend using. Okay, well I didn't even use it, but I highly recommend using the phase lock because as you can see, he can dig up the snow and the ground turns into spikes. He can walk on them, but obviously you can't, and it can be pretty annoying to be doing really well in the fight and then suddenly just get knocked into the spikes, or just like find yourself, you know, falling onto the spikes just last second and losing the entire fight. So I would recommend using the Phase Locket, as well as the Flare Wand. Again, those really are like the two best relics. I mean, I feel like objectively they're the two most useful. I like the Propeller Dagger just because of how much use I get out of it, but I personally think objectively that those two that you get at the beginning of the game are by and large the best. I mean, they're some of my favorites as well, so. Okay, though, anyway. Try to get all these guys done for. That was a weird way of saying I'm gonna kill all these people. Alright. So, that is that. Here we go, we got an extra meal ticket so we can get another bit of health, and I thought I had the Propeller Dagger. So wait. Alright, so you can get 2 more health bars. And here we go. At long last, we have access to the Tower of Fate. As you can see, the music does get a bit more sinister here. But of course, we're not quite ready to head there just yet. This episode is really just going to be dedicated to, I guess, buying some of the stuff we haven't bought yet. So really, at this point, it's not going to be too much going on. Okay, so I suppose Just for just shits and giggles, we'll buy this. Yeah, that's literally all it does. So as you can see, it really is just entirely useless. I believe you can only switch here, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, let me try that real quick. Wait, I want to see if it's possible to switch. Okay, no, it's not possible to switch here. Okay then, so yeah. I'm really just gonna wait. Gotta talk to you. Okay, head back to this. Okay then, so yeah. And oh, why did I not quote that earlier? Okay, so we'll also head back to the village, and we'll hand in the last sheets we currently have to the bard. Spare. And let's get our last bits of health and magic. And there we go, we finally have maximum magic. Although the game is not quite showing us right now. There we go, 100 magic. Now, I believe this guy has one more meal ticket for us, but I don't think, yeah, okay. I wasted my money on the ornate plate. Of course I did. Yeah, actually. You know what, let's just do it. Because we can make this a bit of a longer episode. Well, maybe not. I don't really feel like it's the smartest idea. Okay, I think just because I would like to keep these levels separate, just from like Pony Knight's level, I think I may have to cut this episode a bit short here. So, I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of Let's Play Shovel Knight. If you did, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe or something, because I hope you guys, like I said, have enjoyed this week of just all my Let's Plays coming back, in full force, and yeah, I hope to be able to continue them strong. So, see you all later.